Man, what a news day. Let's get into it, folks. It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of The Good Times Newsline, Flashcast. Yes, that's right. That's right. There was some news, some very interesting news that dropped courtesy of Hyper Mega Tech. What was it? And is it for you? Let's dig in. Let's check it out. So, the big story is, of course, that Hyper Mega Tech is here. It's loud and proud and all sorts of cool things. We've got the Super Pocket arcade games in your pocket for only $59 US. But, what does all this mean? What is it? What is it? So, before we get into any of that, let's do what I did and check out the trailer. Now, I've eliminated audio for fear of getting any kind of like crazy stuff on the internet. But let's take a look at the trailer, shall we? And I'll try to narrow it, because there isn't actually there's no sultry voice of Sean or anybody. It's just like music in the background. So I'm not sure if I get nailed showing the trailer with the audio. But here we go. Alright, got some Mega Mans, we got some Capcom actions, and then we've got, right away, wait, what was that? What was that? Taito, that's some Space Invaders, isn't it? Alright, cool, let's keep this going. But also, this is Hyper Mega Tech, right? We've been pondering and wondering what this is. What is this thing? What is Hyper Mega Tech in general? And, well, it's a handheld? Many questions. So, apparently the first product for Hyper Mega Tech, a new retro company, a spin-off, as you will, of Blaze Entertainment, a new imprint maybe from Blaze Entertainment, is looking to put out a piece of hardware called the Super Pocket. And there's going to be some Capcom games on one of them and some Taito games on the other. And as we just saw, not only is it just Hyper Mega Tech, right? But we've got some weird things going on in the trailer. So let's do a little scrubberoo here. We've got games built into the system. We've got dust covers built into the system. We've got slots for Evercade games, which is interesting. All part of the system, but yet is not an Evercade. It is indeed a Super Pocket, right? It's not an Evercade. It's been explained in many different places that this is not directly related to Evercade, other than the fact that it does play Evercade games. But again, I sense that question. I sense that question. And the question is, but why? Exactly, but why? But why? What? Okay. So let's dig into it a little. So we've got a way to play your Capcom games on the go, right? You put them in your pocket. There's many pockets that these things are being put in. We've got the back pockets, we've got the front pockets, we've got the shirt pockets. This is going to be a small device, right? They've made it very clear that this is going to be a small device. But I'm starting to think, who needs the device? Do I need the device? I mean, I've got an Evercade, I've got an OG handheld, I've got an EXP. You get the limited and the regular. You got limited and regular OGs. You got a VS. You got a limited VS on the way. Do I need this thing? Now, I think for regular Evercade fans, the answer might be maybe not, right? Maybe this isn't for us. So then who is it for? And I've seen some of my buddies, my Evercast buddies, they've been doing the speculations and they're doing the videos, and they all have good things to say, right? Some are concerned that this is splitting the the interests, I guess, are splitting the focus of Blaze, right? So now we got two competing hardware companies, right? You know, you've got the HyperMegaTech and you've got the Evercade, and they're basically doing similar things in two different silos. So what does that mean, right? You know, is it taking away from the Evercade? I'm not sure, right? The thing's not out. We don't know. I think in leaning towards something I've heard from Crow in his video, that this is most certainly targeting a different demographic, and I 100% agree. Right? I saw even Mad Little Pixel's video, and you know, he suggested that, well, maybe this is a thing you're going to see in like the Walgreens and the Walmarts and the big box stores, and it's on a shelf, and you pick it up because it's got the things you know on it, right? It's got the big flashy thing of like, hey, look, you know, here's all your Capcom games. You get the Ryus and the Mega Mans and all the things, and I know that. You pick it up, and then you play it, and it's like, okay, you know, but it looks better than some of the My Arcade stuff that just has the generic things, because the generic things have to be built into the My Arcade things because they don't have the licenses, right? You know, except for very, very small. Some of them have, you know, the Pac-Man license or whatever, but you're only getting 3 games. You're not getting 12, right? You know, like, and then when you have the other ones that are the generic ones, you get 200 games, but none of them are anything you know about. But they're not also, you know, the licensed arcade games, right? You know, very small circumstances you get anything that comes close to the stuff that Blaze has done as far as those things are concerned. But so again, you know, you look at this ad, right? And okay, you see things, you see the flashy things, and I'm interested. But again, you're like, what do I need, right? And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know, am I personally? We'll wait. We'll tease it. We'll tease it until the end, and I'll give you whether or not I'm going in on this. These are available as of July 14th to pre-order, by the way, if you were interested in doing so, according to their website. But the website has some other things, like so other than this, all right, is it an Evercade? No, it's not an Evercade. Does it have the firmware for the Evercade? Probably most of it, because it's probably playing, you know, it allows you to play the Evercade cartridges, so it has to have something built in to that sees the Evercade land and bring that in. But it's not the Evercade firmware. Right, so we know some things from the facts that have happened, and from some people that have asked some things. This device is not going to have the Evercade firmware. It's not going to have the added features. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. It doesn't have an HDMI port. It doesn't have all the things, the convenience features that the Evercade has, and it may not even have things like you know, other convenience features. I don't even know if this thing has like save states or anything like that, right? It is not an Evercade. It is a Super Pocket. The Super Pocket is what it is. It seems to be a very simple, hey, you play your games, you do your thing, whatever, right? You get in, you get out, you put it in your pocket, you're done, right? If you want to and you have some parts, you want to put it in. But for those that own an Evercade, you're probably not going to do that, because if you already have an Evercade and you love your Evercade EXP, and you take that around on your journeys and on your vacations and all that kind of stuff, you're probably just bringing your Evercade EXP. You're not bringing this thing. So again, this might not be for you, right? For me as an Evercade fan. So let's go in here and check out some stuff. What are in these things, right? We got Taito. This is the first time we've heard the name Taito. That should excite fans of the Evercade. That should definitely get us like pretty jazzed. We had to work with Taito, right? HyperMegaTech. We're working with like Blaze, maybe. We're working with Taito. So can we get Taito on the Evercade side? I don't know. You know, maybe this is the only way to get Taito involved, because Taito didn't want to do a cart. Maybe Taito didn't want to do an exclusive EXP. So maybe you can get this thing and you play some Taito games. But that's, you know, this is where the splitting gets a little unfortunate for Evercade fans, because man, you see the name, you're like, oh, sweet. Well, you know, like where's this? Where's this coming? Right? Because you want this, right? When you see the title logo, who knows? We don't know. We're not any of those people. We weren't privy to the action that happened during the talks and all that stuff. But that's pretty cool. There's Taito, right? And there's the Taito thing. And you can show you where to buy. You got officially licensed games, and we can look at all that. It's got Evercade compatibility. It's up to 500 plus games on 45 Evercade cartridges. They're all sold separately. Yes. We know this. This is an interesting number too. Up to 500 games on 45 Evercade cartridges. So I've got 29. Right? 29? Are we up to 29? Well, we pre-ordered up to 29 anyway. Yeah, it's gotta be 28, 29. Yep. So for now we're at 29. So that's up to 30. So let's just call it even 39 there, 9 in the arcades. Yeah. So by the end of the year, I think they're assuming end of the year, the 45 and up to 500 games. Okay, cool. All right. So at least they're going to be compatible with everything that's coming out till the end of the year, right? And I'm imagining it includes Indie Heroes 3, right? So let's say all of these devices will play every single game throughout the entire thing, and up to and including February 24th, right? That's the end. You know, after that, who knows? But anyway, we got Choose Your Super Pocket. You got Super Pocket Capcom Edition or Taito. Sounds good. And then the facts and all that kind of stuff. There was also an email that went out that gave you a little bit more information, right? Before we go there, let's go to the Taito edition, right? Because then we're gonna get the games, all right? There's 17 games. Space Invaders, awesome. Bubble Bobble, awesome. Operation Wolf. Okay, I mean, I like Operation Wolf, but you know, like whenever you try to do a I don't know, what do you like? I mean, try to translate a game that is a light gun game to any kind of console that has a controller that isn't a light gun. Then you're like, it's so yeah. So here it is again, right? You get to it's light gun games, but you get to control it with the controller. Anyway, we got New Zealand Story. I never played that game, but I heard it was pretty cool. Rastan, which is pretty cool. That is a pretty cool game. Kadash, which is also, I've heard, is a very cool game. Jack and Pop. We played that. You know, and I was going to give it one more credit. Well, hey, maybe I'll wait and give it more credits. You know, Don, Doku Don, another cool game. This is like part of that Discovery thing that's popping in, saying hi. Elevator Action, Football Champ, Growl, we'll beat him up. Hiki Kai Kai, interesting. Legend of Cod, Plage, Cage, some have said. Liquid Kids, Space Invaders 91, Bonafide, and Fairyland Story. So, I mean, it's pretty good. It's a pretty decent, like, decent thing. But then we get to the Capcom thing. Here's another thing I want to go on. I'm going to pull this little thing, pull this little list out. List. Capcom Edition, right? It's got 12 games on it. 1942, 1943, 1944, The Loop Master, Bionic Commando, Captain Commando, Street Fighter II, Hyper Fighting Strider, Wolf of the Battlefield Mercs, Mega Man, Final Fight, Ghouls and Ghosts, and Forgotten Worlds. Okay, pretty cool, right? But there's some things that are missing, right? There's 12 games on there, and there were, if I'm not mistaken, what was it? Was it 18? Was it 18? I think it was 18 on the Evercade EXP. What were the ones that were missing? Well, I see Bionic Commando, right? I see Captain Commando, but I didn't see Commando. That is missing. Legendary Wings, also not on this list. Volgus, interestingly enough, not on this list. Mega Man 2, not on this list. Mega Man X, not on this list. And Breath of Fire, not on this list. So there were 6 games that we got on the EXP, they're not on this handheld. Interesting to see they're like the weird ones. The weird ones for me, Commando. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe it's because you're. I mean, but 1942, 1943, and 1944 are on there, and they're all the Tate games, right? You know, so why not Commando, Legendary Wings of Vulgus, right? Why not? I don't get it. You know, it's like, so like you've included 1942, 1943, 1944. They're all big Tate games. And if you're wondering, oh, well, we can't put Commando and Legendary Wings of Vulgus on there because they might not look good, but let's put 1942, 1943, 1944 there. But yeah, I mean, I understand no Mega Man 2, no Mega Man X, and no Breath of Fire, right? Because I think their focus here is arcade, right? They put Mega Man on there because it's Mega Man, right? You're gonna get something. You're gonna get something that didn't fit. Mega Man is there because you can put Mega Man on the box. People will remember. Oh, I see Mega Man. Boom, done. I get it. You know, there isn't like a Mega Man. Well, there are Mega Man arcade games, but there wasn't like a traditional Mega Man. I don't even know if there was like a Versus. No, there wasn't anything like that. I don't think. You can get lay on in the comments if there was, but I don't think so. But anyway, you get the NES version of Mega Man, which contradicts. There is a statement on the website that says like everything is arcade. It's not, right? You know, get Mega Man on there. That's fine. It's okay. So it's interesting because if an EXP owner goes, well, is this for me? Well, certainly not, right? This one is certainly not for you. Because if you own an Evercade EXP, you already own all of these games and you can play them handheld on the go. You can do that already. That's done. You're good. You know, you don't need it. I mean, yes, it's cool. You know, should they make an EXP that looks like this? Yes. Yes, they should. Because obviously the EXP is the Capcom edition for the Evercade. They probably should. I mean, they already molded plastics for this thing. They might as well just put out a couple and put out a limited run for Capcom fans in the gold and blue. Because I mean, you're doing it on this thing, you might as well do it on the Evercade. I'm just putting this out because it happened, right? Do I like the look of the Taito edition? I mean, it's okay. It's got that weird, like, neon greeny kind of thing on the black. Alright, I guess. I like the look of the Capcom one better. I also, you know, does this imply that there's going to be more? It's already been said in other places, even the facts and the Evercade Discord and all that kind of stuff. Official people, as Sean and others have said, yeah, there's probably going to be more of these Super Pocket things, so... I mean, is this a thing? Do you want to collect more Super Pockets? I don't know. I already have all these. Yes, they take the Evercade cards, but I don't want to. People do it. You know, people line up arcade machines in their rooms. You know, people line up all sorts of different versions of the same console. Like, can collect every color of the N64? So, I mean, for $60, sure. You know, somebody's going to do it. Will I? I don't know. It depends. It depends on how it is. I mean, how many of these things you're going to give me that have things that I can't get anywhere else, right? The Taito one is really the thing that's going to get me. If they're like, well, we can't get the deal done on the Evercade side to get you a cart, and we're not going to be able to put the games on a different EXP limited edition somewhere down the line. The only way you're going to get the Taito games that have the Evercade family touch, let's say, is to get this thing. Well, I mean, you got me, because I want to play the games the way you guys make your games, so I'm getting this thing because I want to play your games that way. Am I going to feel like I'm having a good experience with this little tiny thing that I can put in my pocket over the EXP? I don't know, because I've never held this thing, but I can tell you this. I have held similar devices, and I don't do well when it gets really tiny. I mean, I can play games on my phone, you know, but I usually play that in landscape because it fits better in my hand. I mean, I've played, you know, portrait style phone games too, and I guess it's okay, but don't know. It's a, I'm taking you guys on a journey. I know it's been 20 minutes and this is supposed to be a flashcast, but I'm really taking you on a journey. But I did see some more things that I do want to talk about. So let's bring some of those things up here. I'm going to go in here and let's pull up the email, because I just want to pull up some things. There's some things on the facts too, right? All right. So we're just going to go to the FAQ from the Discord, right? It's things that are said directly from the Blaze team, directly to your guys' eyes and ears. They reiterate, this is not an Evercade. That's the brand. It is designed to be a low price but high quality retro gaming handheld with built-in games from either Taito or Capcom, depending upon the edition you buy. It's for the casual consumer, for those looking for a retro-related gift, or just those who think it's cool. This is very much, I think, aimed at like the gift crowd. It's gift priced. It's $60. It's the same cost as a regular game, but instead you can give a gift and it's like, hey, here's this little thing and you can play it and whatever. And also, by the way, you can put the little things in there and then you can have the conversation like, hey, I give you this thing, and if you like it, then you can put more things in it and you can get more games. Oh, really? I can get more games? How do you do that? Welcome to EverCanadian. It's a gateway device, right? Just saying. Just putting it out there. I mean, this is all marketing speak, right? Does it work? I don't know. Well, no one knows until it happens. And if it happens and it blows up, then, happy days for Blaze and the Evercade, right? And our community. If it doesn't, then, well, it was a nice idea. They tried it out for a thing. It's a low cost for us, which means a low cost for them. Maybe the venture, was already R&D'd, and they're not going to lose their shirts if this thing doesn't sell well. And then they just go, okay, well, this is a cool thing that I moved on. And the collectors that have them go, well, I have a thing, right? Okay. So they say it is, however, compatible with all current and planned upcoming Evercade cartridges. This system comes with a dummy cartridge to protect the slot, but you can slide it out and put in an Evercade cartridge in this place to play games. There is no obligation to do this, so those that just want this as a Taito machine or a Capcom machine can enjoy it without further outlay. Okay, cool. The price point is £49, $59 US. We're aiming to get this into a wider range of stores than Evercade products. They're serious about getting this into things. Like, this should be in the US. It should be in Walmart's. This should be in GameStops. This should be in Best Buy. This should be and on the shelf, ready to go for the holiday. This should be a thing that you see in the ad. For the holidays, there's the thing, and you see the thing, and it goes boom, boom, boom. You can get the Space Invaders, and you can get the Mega Mans, and you can get the Street Fighters, and you can get the Bubble Bobbles, right? That's what they're aiming for, and they're hoping to make a splash. Because again, I'm just speculating as far as marketing goes. This is like I said, it's a gateway device, right? Get this in here. There's no obligation to do any of these things, but when people that are in the know get these things and they pull that cover off, they go, whoa, I think I could put a thing in here. Come on. And if they buy enough space in some of these retail stores, and these just so happen to be sitting next to a couple of the greatest hits Evercade carts, and they pick them all up in a bundle. I mean, come on. Anyway, but again, that's for people that don't know what this stuff is, right? That's not for us. For the Evercade fandom, right? Again, we're putting it out. This system is self-contained, will not require firmware updates, just turn on and play. Now, a lot of people got really weird about this, and concerned, and some of it is rightly so, because again, there's been games that have come out that needed additional fixes and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know what happens to Hyper Mega Tech people that get these things and they put in their Evercade carts if it needs or requires an update. Does it work? Does it not work? I don't know the answer to those questions, right? I don't know. It's not designed to do it, and it is just an extra. So, do we know that there's going to be possibly certain ones where out of the 45 cartridges that they say will work, then maybe one of them has a problem and it doesn't work in QA after that? Maybe. But again, it's a QA thing. It's a whatever, right? Is it a great look if that happens? No, of course not. Absolutely not. That's not a thing that's going to be happening. But who knows? Who knows? All right, anyway. We go to the screen. The screen's a 2.8-inch 4:3 aspect ratio IPS. And yes, it's better than the original handheld screen in terms of image quality. So it's basically more along the lines of an EXP screen that's small. Okay. They also said this, which is the kind of bummer. There is no Taito cartridge planned for the Evercade at this time, but Taito, working with Blaze on this project, potentially opens the door to future collaborations, which is the reason why they probably did this deal in the first place. As with their work with Capcom and the Evercade EXP, Taito had strict stipulations onto the form factors in which it would allow us to re-release its classic games. So again, this is just like Capcom. Capcom's determining how the games get onto a Blaze Evercade or Blaze Hyper Mega Tech thing, and Taito looks like they were doing the exact same thing. So if this is the way we get Taito, and it's the only way we were going to get Taito, and you're not going to get Taito on Evercade, and you want to play Taito with the Blaze Touch, then you're going to get this thing, or you don't get the thing, right? But again, I'm not sure. Anyway, now we go to the actual email. So let me just see if I can find the Hyper Mega Tech email in my email box. I know I read it, so it's in here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. But I hate the way Gmail does some of this stuff sometimes, because I try to look stuff and then it goes no, and then all sorts of weird stuff happens. All right, let me see if I can find the Hyper Mega Tech email. There it is. We're gonna do the pop-up. Okay. Hyper Mega Tech. So let's share this email and take a look at it, shall we? Okay, introducing Hyper Mega Tech thing. All right, here we go. Introducing Hyper Mega Tech's Capcom and Taito editions. Now, there's only really one reason why I wanted to do this. I didn't want to go over everything again. It does release in October 23. Let's just take care of that. So it comes out. We'll have it in hand just after my B-Day. So that's kind of cool. And you can pre-order them as of Friday. Okay. We saw the little thingies, and here's the cool things, and they're dancing together. All right, nice little marketing vid. Okay. Got the arcade games. We took all of that kind of stuff. This is the one, right? This right here is what I wanted to talk about. Easy to play. It says, featuring easy-to-handle controls, simple to navigate UI. Super Pockets give you all the buttons you need to play your favorite arcade games with comfort and ease. The Super Pocket also has a USB charging, which means it has a rechargeable battery, and a 3.5mm headphone jack, so it's easy to charge and play wherever you are, train, park, home, or work. All right, it's really cool that they did the 3.5mm headphone jack in there, because if they just left it with speakers and no headphone jack, that's not amazing. But if they, you get the headphone jack in there, so it's pretty cool for those that are on the go and you want to play on the bus or something like that, and you actually want to hear the game instead of having to turn everything off, because you don't want the dude next to you getting mad. Okay, cool, awesome. So the Super Pocket also has an easy mode. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to look at, which lowers the difficulty of the game so that anyone of any age can play and enjoy without encountering big difficulty spikes. Now, this is a cool thing that I hope comes to the other side, to the Evercade side, because the one thing that my son loves to do is grab any one of these carts and just throw them in and start playing. And some of the games that are more simple, that are more easy, he loves to play, and he plays them over and over and over and over again. All the racing games he loves to play, some of the shooters he likes to play, but he gets frustrated because some of the games, they're older. The older games are a little harder, right? They were designed to be either quarter munchers or they're designed to challenge you. And he's just at that age where he's just young enough to get frustrated, not old enough yet to overcome it by attrition, right? To keep playing it over and over again. And the cool thing about this is it actually, this easy mode is built in to apparently the ROM, so built into the games themselves. Now I reached out for some further clarification on this. So I just wanted to read what was said there. So basically, it's kind of like, because these are all arcade games, right? And arcade games, some of them have dip switches and all that kind of stuff to set that. So think of them as kind of like a virtual dip switch that got flipped, so that it puts it way down to make it almost feel like a casual game. So some of these quarter munchers that have these huge difficulty spikes, for example, in Street Fighter 2, right? In any version of Street Fighter 2. The first two matches, first match is okay. Second match, maybe a little harder. It's that third match, the guy just punches you in the throat and you're just done, right? So in the third match, maybe it's just as difficult as the first and second, and it goes throughout the entire game. And maybe you can even get through the boss and beat it, and like that kind of stuff. So not bad. So they specifically designed it as a way for people to just cruise through the games and experience them without getting bogged down or tuned out due to the craziness. They also say that it won't work for everything, sadly, as some games don't have adjustable difficulty, but for the most part, they are going to do what they can to make sure that there's a mode. So I guess it'll be in the menu of the UI. You can go, I want to play this on easy mode, or I don't want to play. Kind of like a reverse of the challenge mode, right? Or the the competition mode, right? So you can hit it and it'll just be like, oh, I am playing on easy mode. So that way I can help my son go click some buttons and be like, hey, you can play this in an easier way. And this form factor actually might be good for kids as well because it's smaller, right? Sometimes actually my son has a hard time. He doesn't want to play as much and hold it as long as he usually does. So that's a pretty cool thing. So I just want to make sure that, hey, there isn't actually an interesting feature that isn't just, oh, here's this thing that is just a mini Evercade, and it does, they ripped out all the other features, and it's not looking so great. This actually does have kind of a feature that this doesn't exist on everything, right? And I explicitly asked, hey, are we going to get this stuff on the other side? And the answer was not now, and then ... and maybe we're working on stuff and that kind of thing. So nothing official, but hopefully we'll see something like that on the other side, or at least we'll see. You can get under the hood and mess around with the arcade stuff. But that's been on all of our Evercade fan wish list for forever, right? And I did ask specifically, does this work on cartridges when you put it in? The answer was no. They're only building it in through the built-in games. So all the Taito games that can do it will have it. All the Capcom games that can do it will have this easy mode thing. But the collections, when you put it in, it's just the collection. You put it in, and it is what it is on that. So there won't be anything built in. So unless you see another Super Pocket that has some of the games that are on these other collections, and they do that to those individual games or ROMs, there isn't anything else that's going to happen with the Evercade cartridge. So there we go. There you have it there. So I did a little asking around for you guys. So, and then the email, just say, hey, here's the Taito, here's the games, here's all the stuff, hit the button, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. So there was that. So we've reached that part of that. So thank you guys for hanging out. It's a half hour. This is a full news thing. But I think it was worth taking the time to dig in. I think it's worth taking the time to take a look. All right, so here's my things, right? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I disappointed? Am I whatever? I mean, I'm kind of mid about the whole thing. The only reason why, though, is because I just don't know, right? I don't know if, outside of the cool thing that we just talked about for my son, do I want to have this thing? Do I want to have this little pocket thing and carry it around? I don't know. I really think, though, because it looks neat, the Capcom one especially looks neat. I kind of want one, and I'll stick it up there. And maybe I'll get I'll probably get both of them. One to stick up there, and then one to try out. And if it really works well, I absolutely will give it to my son. And that could be his Evercade, right? Because he's going to associate it with the Evercade because he already knows that the cartridges are there. As soon as he finds out that there's a slot, he'll just go nuts. And he'll just be like, oh, I can put the games in there and the play and whatever, and he'll be off to the races. So, yes, it's probably going to be a thing that's going to enter this house. So, like, if you were to say, hey, is Rich going to go and get these? Yeah, I'll probably get them, you know. But it's going to be for a different intent because, again, is it for me, for you, the Evercade fan? Probably not. Probably not. And you know what? I think it's all right that there are products that are going to be offered by Hyper Mega Tech or Blaze or Evercade or whatever that are not going to be for everyone, right? Unless you're the super collector guy, has to buy all the things, then you're like, okay, well maybe you're upset now because you know, like it kind of looks like an Evercade. It does things that are Evercade. It doesn't say Evercade in the box. You want to put it on the shelf of things that say Evercade, and you're mad that it doesn't say Evercade. Whatever. But I also think, though, to be honest, it's twofold. These business decisions are trying to open the door and get more people in to the ecosystem, introduce them to the ecosystem, and then keep going. I really honestly think that is a thing for sure. Now, is it going to work? Who knows? Who knows? And I also think the other thing is if it doesn't work out, right? If something like this doesn't work out, then they could walk away and be like, well, the product line just went away, and it's okay. And it doesn't really hurt Evercade because it's not an Evercade, right? So again, sometimes you have to like silo that stuff off in business, but it is, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. Am I disappointed that the Hyper Mega Tech's first thing wasn't something that was outside of like basic Evercade stuff? Yes, I am deeply disappointed that the Hyper Mega Tech first launch thing isn't something that just looks like an like I can't. Okay. But why, guys? You said a whole bunch of stuff in like what is Hyper Mega Tech, and the thing that you said, and the one thing you were like, hey, it's going to be merchandising and this and board games and blah blah blah. And it's like, hey, you said the word, man. Yeah, it's coming, I'm sure. Yeah, you'll have a thing. I don't know, maybe it'll be a Mega Man board game or a Space Invaders board game or something. But come on, guys. You know, it's Hyper Mega Tech, and the first thing you see is something that's going to reassociate you with the other things. Like, okay, again, I also get the connection thing, but man, I think it would have been cooler if you had a product that was like a board game or something like that, and that's what you launched with first. And then maybe, like, oh, by the way, you know, it's still July. You had another 2 months or something to do pre-orders, and I know sometimes, well, this is probably going to be made to order based on pre-order numbers, so I guess you got to get the numbers in for a little faster. But then you do this now, but you did the Hyper Mega Tech board game thing, and you talked about that 2 months ago. You know, you already when the Hyper Mega Tech tease was going to happen, you do the board game thing first, and then people are like, oh, this is really cool. And they start associating Hyper Mega Tech with something that's cool that might be a little different. And then you have the showcase, and then you come out with this, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, you still have a thread that gets you back to Evercade, and maybe this isn't as harsh, right? The reaction isn't as harsh. And then right after that, we're in July 12th. Right at the end of the month, we're getting smacked right in the face with indies back on the Evercade in the Evercade Showcase Volume 2. So, like, boom. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. You know, there's a lot of but why. Right? That's why I put the little name in there. But that's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at with that. You know, like, but in the end, am I gonna get the things? Yes, I'm the guy that gets the things, so I'm gonna get the things, and we'll show you the things and all that kind of stuff. And we're gonna have to be at the table. There's no HDMI port on this thing. There's no capture. There's nothing. So it's gonna be cams directly to the thing, and that's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna have to go EverCanadian style on this thing. So, but we'll do it. We'll do it, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for $60, like, here, look the flip side, right? If this thing for $60 comes out, it feels like an Evercade, it plays like an Evercade, for $60 all day long, why not? You know, because if somebody asked me and they're just a casual gamer and they're a super hardcore Capcom fan, and they love 1942, and they love Street Fighter, and they're like, oh man, I wish I had one of those little thingies, you know, but I'm not going to buy a DS, I'm not buying a Switch, what do I buy? I buy this thing for $60, and then I tell them, oh yeah, well if you like Double Dragon, or you like whatever, you can get this other thing, and you put it in there, and you can play those games too. And you're like, really? And yeah, for $20, you can go out a thing. Sold. And then if they go, oh man, I really wish that this was bigger. Boy, do I have a thing for you, right? I mean, come on, that's how this goes. Anyway, that's the thing. That's my spiel. Thanks again for spending 40 minutes with me. This was a podcast for, talking about this thing. I just wanted to. I had to get this out. I had to get the talk out. I had to do this. Because it is. It's just a weird thing. It's just a weird thing. Ryan, what did we say? Why? I don't know why. But we'll figure it all out together. So, we've reached the end of an episode of the Good Times Newsline, which is a Bacon Ice Cream production, and we have to do one thing only, and that is thank the members of the Good Times Club. For without them, cool things like all the videos and interesting new projects wouldn't be happening. There are 10 members, and we got to thank them all. They are the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Fan of Fiction, Skeletrix, Lloyd Argent, Papa Pete, The Intellivision Gamer, and Karsten. Thank you guys all for being members of the Good Times Club. It is just so awesome to have your support. Thank you guys too. As a personal note, thank you guys for all of the awesome feedback for the special tribute episode that I did of Retro Rich's Restorations. It did really mean a lot, and you guys have helped me out more than you guys would know. Just putting it out there. Thanks. But that's it. And you guys have been hearing, maybe, hopefully, some interesting background stuff, and hopefully it's not too loud, and hopefully I did the levels right, and this 42-minute episode didn't get ruined by it. But there's some pretty cool things. We got a musical sponsor. Isn't that cool? We got a musical sponsor, and the musical sponsor is a band called The Power, and they are awesome. By my good buddy Jarrett. He's got an awesome band, and you guys should check it out. But also, you should watch the rolls, because at the end of every episode that we use this music on, there'll be a thank you in the rolls. So make sure you guys check that out. But until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. Take it easy, guys. And we'll see you. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this on the Evercade. So we'll see you then, too. Bye. Special thanks to our musical sponsor, The Power. The Power is a super fun, melodic, and progressive rock band from Flemington, New Jersey, and we are thrilled and honored to be able to share their great tunes with you on our videos. Want to hear more and support them too? Check out their website at www.thepowermusic.com. That's www.thepowermusic.com. Be sure to check out and pick up their new album, Curious Extraction: The Horizon Unearthed. But beware, it'll rock your face off.
rtsc.baconicecream.com.